What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I believe we're on day 8 of the 12 days of Live Fitness, which is actually crazy now that I think about it because we're really on the tail end. This goes by so fast. I always feel like I'm like doing so much work, but at the same time I'm like, this went by in a blink. But anyways. Today we're going to be talking about healing body image because you guys know I'm really big on self-love and the mindset aspect of it, because when I first started lifting and when this was back in like 2016 to 2019, like just your internal space was not something that was addressed at all in the social media fitness space. I just was under the impression that like, oh, once I like achieve my dream body and whatnot, like then I'll love myself, then I'll feel fulfilled, then I'll feel confident, then I'll feel like I won't ever have any bad body image days, which is just a hoax and it's not true. It's just really up to your own mindset to cultivate your own self-love from within, independent of the way that you look on the outside. I'm putting broccoli in my eggs because it is so good, trust me. You guys tried the salmon in your eggs and you loved it. Now try broccoli, like leftover broccoli that you sauteed and seasoned. Put that in with your eggs. I promise it's so good. But also I feel like in the past when I really was preaching about self-love and everything, I was personally in a place where I was generally happy like with my physique and where I was at. And lately, like the past, like honestly a while, like honestly the past like 6 months, I want to say, I definitely have been sitting heavier. And like in the past, that's when I would probably have like tried to change my body to like get to a more physique that I was more comfortable and like used to, like more comfortable with and used to, I guess, if you will. And so I feel like it's been a really good exercise for me to like be a little bit uncomfortable with my physique a little bit and still be like, you know what, I'm not gonna go run and try to change the way I look. Like I know I'm still healthy, which is all that matters. And kind of just sitting with that uncomfortability of my physique, if you will, I feel like has been a really good character building exercise and has been really a good exercise for me to develop true self-love, because I feel like it's easy to say like, yeah, love yourself, like love your body when you're already kind of confident and comfortable with the physique that you're at, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's been a good exercise for me to like still affirm to myself, like I love myself, you're beautiful, you're worthy, you're amazing, even if you're not your leanest that you've ever been or most muscular you've ever been, etc. Also, you guys, before we get any further into this, I need to vent to you about the weirdest dream that I had last night. And let me tell you something, I've been having such weird dreams, like for the past, like, no, not even weird dreams, I take that back. I just mean I've been having such vivid dreams the past like 3+ months. And I honestly just very rarely have like bad or creepy dreams. And wait, I need to take a step back even further. So I wake up, okay, this is literally this morning. I wake up at 5:30 for whatever reason, and I assess the situation. And I realize it's like because I'm hungry. But it took me a second to kind of realize that. So that was like at 5:30 in the morning, I wake up, I'm like sitting there, like laying there, try to go back to sleep, whatever. I finally come to the conclusion of like, okay, maybe like go get a banana or something, like it'll probably help you fall back to sleep. So I'm like, okay, bet. I go downstairs, at this point it's like 6 a.m. and I go get a banana. And at this point I'm like, should I just send this and like be one of those people who like get up like early and just like experience this productive day? And I was like, no, because I'm probably gonna hit a wall later in the day and like I don't want that. I have plans today. Anyways, I still am up until 7 a.m. I decided to be like, okay, let me just go back to sleep. Maybe I'll get like a 1 to 2 more hours, whatever. So I think that's what set me up for failure in the beginning. But what's important to note here is that I did have a banana and I was falling asleep with the banana aroma because it was still on my bedside table. All right, sorry, I had to do a brief intermission because I really just needed to immerse myself in my breakfast. So basically, first of all, I can't help but feel like this is because I was traumatized from a movie that I previously watched like a month ago now. And let me tell you something about me, you guys. I am so sensitive to movies, TV shows. Like that's a really big reason why I don't watch them. So anyways, I'm sure you guys know the movie called Don't Worry, Darling, or whatever it's called. Like, ooh, Harry Styles is in it, whatever. So when I was with my friends in Virginia, they're like, it's such a good movie, you need to watch it. So I'm like, okay. They said it was a mind-bending thriller. Long story short, I was traumatized. I hate it. I burst into tears during the movie because it just was so, I I was disturbed. It was kind of like in the movie, it was just like weird psychoses, like it was reality, but like stuff was just weird. And I was kind of the theme of like my dream. And so it started when I was like here with like my extended family, but we were here in Utah. And like, again, we were technically like in real life, but like there was things that just were off. Then it flashed to us being on this like ski shuttle, and like both of my parents were there, like my mom and my dad. But then we were all getting off the shuttle, but then I forgot my ski gear like in my seat, like something stupid. So I went back in to go get it, but then it was like a yacht, like cruise ship type thing. And like all the room, it was like a maze. Like all the rooms were like kind of looking the same, but like different. And there was like all these new areas, and I just was so lost, and I couldn't find my seat for the life of me. And I had like no idea that the shuttle was like as big as it was until I had gone back in to try to find my skis. So I was like so disoriented. I saw random people from high school that looked like psychotic. And then I was trying to find my dad because I was split up from my dad at that point. And then this is what's funny, because I told you guys to remember the banana. I tried to call my dad, and you might be wondering, okay, why didn't you just call him on your phone? My phone turned into a banana. Okay, so I couldn't call him because my phone was a banana. And so then I'm like running around. I finally come to the conclusion of like, I just need to ask someone if I could use their phone. And this was like another time where it was like reality, but like shit was just weird. And so I asked this guy if I could use his phone, but it just was weird. And like, I kept trying to dial my dad, like dial his number, and it just wasn't working. Like it wasn't the correct number / it wasn't the correct, like it just didn't look like a normal phone. So I kept trying to type it and something different would type. And then shit just got so weird with him and like this other girl that came over, like super disturbing, like scary, creepy, I should say. And then at that point, like I was so scared and just freaked out. And then I finally heard my dad's voice, and I was like, Joe Catania. And I was like screaming his name, but then I was like trying to run towards him, but I couldn't. So I was like holding on to the railings that were like along the side of the hallway, like trying to keep pulling myself towards him. And at first I didn't think that he saw me because he was like so unfazed and like didn't even realize what was going on. And he almost walked away, and I was like screaming, shouting his name, like trying to run towards him. And I think that's what like made me more scared, because I was like, oh my gosh, I see him. It's like that classic like inner child being scared that you're gonna like separate from your parents. And then he finally saw me and was like, lover. And then I just started like bursting into tears, and then I woke up crying. I was so freaked out. I've been through it, you guys, and it's only 10 a.m. Anyways, I'm gonna go record a podcast, and then I'm gonna report back, and we can chit chat about body image. I think that is when we are the most powerful beings. I think that's when we are the closest to our flow state. I think that's when we create the most supercharged things, whether it's the action we take or something that we're creating, a physical product or whatever the case may be, a business decision. When you can act from a place where you are beautifully blending and acting from a place of synergy of both your body or like your physical and then more of your emotional side, I think that's when anything that you create is super magnetic from that standpoint. Okay, podcast is now finished. Went superb. I've been wanting to make an episode on that topic for forever. It's all about why intention is everything and why it's so important. But I just remembered that I'm gonna try to make like carne asada tacos tonight. And let me tell you something, I never had steak growing up, so I've never cooked steak before in my entire life. And I feel like now is a good time to like start at least, but I know that you need to marinate it in my research. So I think I'm gonna prep that now. I found this marinade recipe on Pinterest, and I think this should be good. This is also perfect timing because I literally just bought a lemon squeezer finally, and now I could use that to squeeze this lime juice in there. But okay, I just want to preface this little rant with saying that I'm not going to be sitting here telling you guys about, oh, you got to appreciate all the things your body does for you and blah, 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 like you're a boss, that's beige. Like, we know all those things and all those things are great, but these are just going to be a little bit less conventional because I feel like I said, those things are great, but sometimes they don't always help. But they didn't really help me. They would help me temporarily, but these things that I'm about to share with you have like completely changed my perspective and the way that I view my body and like my sense of body image, I guess, if that makes sense. 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I just feel so stupid measuring olive oil. Like my Italian relatives are embarrassed for me. So first and foremost, the absolute biggest thing that like was a game changer for me with my body image was not taking it personally. And this honestly went back to trauma that I had experienced, and I think so many of us relate to this in more ways than one, because I don't even mean that in like it was like a me, like hard thing I went through. I think we all kind of experience body trauma in a sense, just in the way that our society is and like what we're taught growing up. And me specifically, the reason why I say body trauma is because like back when I was cheated on, it just destroyed my self-confidence and it made me feel like, oh, I wasn't worthy of love because I wasn't hot enough, like my body wasn't good enough, etc., etc. And that's what like ate at me for years and years and years. And so every time that I didn't have like a good body image day, I just always would relate it back to like, oh my gosh, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, like my self-worth directly took a hit to it. And then since I took it so freaking personally and my self-worth was so wrapped up in my body image, and if I had a good body image day, it would completely always just ruin my day all the time. And that's what would make me so sensitive to like just my relationship with my body and my body image in general. And like looking back, that's what was most problematic for me. And I think it's problematic for a majority of people, is that they're so consumed by their body image because their self-worth, like they take it personally. Like they took it personally of like, oh, I'm having a bad body image day. That means I'm attractive. That means I'm unworthy. That means I'm not socially acceptable, when it doesn't mean anything. It's nothing personal to take, I guess, if you will. So basically all I'm trying to say is looking at it more so in the sense of like it's just business, you know, that it's relating towards just me, you know, what my habits have been, how I've been doing in the gym, etc. helped a ton with me. So like now when I look in the mirror and I don't like what I see, my world doesn't shatter because I don't think that I'm any less of an individual because of it. I just look at it completely business of like, okay, clearly I haven't been super adherent lately, or clearly I've been off on my walks lately, like my step goal hasn't been up, or clearly my body's going through something, or clearly it's like I'm at a different part in my cycle, and I just leave it at that. And so with that, kind of my second point that I want to make, that's very similar but still different, that your worth is not tied up in the way that your body looks. Okay, it's not. I'm so hunched over in this because I'm trying to like not be up here. But your body is completely separate from your worth, okay? Your worth, let me tell it to you if no one's ever told you this before, your worth completely is found in your soul. It's in who you are. It's your essence and who you are, your essence of your being. It's a birthright, okay? Self-love, feeling worthy, feeling enough, all those things are a birthright. They're not something you need to earn. They're not something outside of yourself. They're completely just a birthright for you having a soul. And I think this is such an easy thing for people to fathom. Like, your body is not the same as your soul. I don't think anyone would ever say that. And so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, your body is separate from your soul. It's nothing to identify with. It's not something that completely dictates your worth. Your soul is something that's completely separate, and your soul is where your worth and your self-love and feeling like enough is coming from. So separate those two. Having a hot body and having a socially acceptable body does not mean that you are more worthy. They're completely two separate things, which also helped me not take things personally and help me realize that everything is just business. Okay, 1/4 cup of lime juice, but I'm honestly just gonna add the other half of this. I'm doing this in separate bowls because it wants me to save another bowl of this later. And so this is just making me feel more organized, okay, people? I'm kind of so excited. I've been enjoying cooking lately, but I'm kind of scared because I don't want to make dry steak, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I don't have jalapeno because I don't like jalapeno. Ooh, 1/2 cup of orange juice. Guys, I'm starting a cooking channel. Oranges are so underrated. And I think something that's so hot in the social media space is like body positivity, celebrating all bodies. And yes, I'm an advocate for that. Like, you need to, you know what I mean? Your body is still worth celebrating because we're so capable of so many things. So many miracles are happening within our body every single day. But I think kind of my less conventional take on this recently, since looking at kind of body image is just more so business and not taking it so personally and not wrapping my self-worth in it. I feel like I've taken more of just like a neutral stance to my body. And I know this isn't like a revolutionary term. We've all heard of body neutrality before, but I almost want to identify more so with that now, because I just don't put so much weight into it anymore, no pun intended. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I just don't, now when I look at, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to act like I'm above it. I still have off days, but I just do not get consumed by it anymore because I'm like, it's not that deep. Like, it's not that serious. It's like, I don't need to think I'm the hottest person in the room to feel like I'm worthy or valuable of anything. Like, you know what I mean? When you finally look at it that way, it's like you stop subconsciously searching for that external validation that comes with like needing to look this like idea of perfection that you have in your head all the time. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's more so, it's allowed me to eventually take more of like a body neutrality approach, I guess, if you will. This is not going to be a 1/2 cup. A little bit less than a 1/2 cup, but we're going to deal with it. And the last little nugget that I want to share, this was actually by Nat Be Fit, giving her total credit. This was something like 5 days ago. She posted on her story, she was doing a Q&A about body image, and she said something that I was like, that is so obvious and makes so much sense. And like, I just was like, yes, that's exactly it. And she was like, I've realized now when I have like these quote unquote bad body image days, because we half the time we have bad body image days or like don't feel good about our body, it's like completely always in our head. Like we don't change that much from one day to the next, like a majority of it's in our head. And so she was like, is it really, you know, the fluctuations in my body that's having me cause a bad body, that's causing a bad body image day? Or have I just been off of my self-care habits? And she was like, usually more than anything, when I have those bad body image days, it's usually always when I've been like not taking the greatest care of myself. And I was like, dude, that is so true. Like that is so me. I feel that way now, like, cause it was freezing the past couple days and complete overcast cloudy. And I tried to go for a walk and I literally ran home because it was so freezing. And so today, like, I'm feeling fluffy, but like, it's because I haven't been on my walks. I haven't been drinking as much water, like all these things that make me feel just overall better. I haven't been on them as much recently. And it directly has correlated to more so the way that I see myself, but just in the sense because I haven't taken as good of care with my body. And so she just was saying that like, now she looks at it in that sense and tries to see like where maybe she has kind of fallen off her self-care habits in a sense, and like seeing what next steps she can take to care for herself that will help make her feel better through her lifestyle habits. And I was like, Natalie, yes, louder. Thank you so much. So I think that's like a huge, big food for thought for everyone to kind of reflect on. And I think a lot of us are going to relate to that one. All right, guys, here's our steaks. Sorry if that grosses anyone out. The marinade looks, hang on, I put a little bit in a bowl on the side. I feel like it looks the way it's supposed to look. You probably can't tell. But here goes nothing. Lifit's first carne asada marinade. Ooh, I mean, this looks good though. I don't know how this could go wrong though. You feel me though? Guys, this is kind of monumental. Not that we're on this topic, but like red meat was something I never ever ate. I thought it was something that was like super unhealthy. I was raised like to never eat it. And I just am kind of, this is like a big moment for me that I'm so open-minded now to like understand that there's benefits to like many different foods, and that like not everything that you learn growing up is necessarily the truth, and like it's worth you learning new things as you get older, you know? All right, I think this is gonna be good. This looks phenomenal. It looks like I did something right, I'll tell you that. Like, in case anyone cares, that looks pretty good. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna end this little vlog here. I feel like this was a short and sweet one for the first time in all of Live Fitness this year. Just wasn't kind of an eventful day? I don't know, it's kind of a chill day. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that it gave you some value in some way, shape, or form. If you are willing and looking to support me, Live Fit, this channel, 12 Days of Live Fitness, or this video, I really would appreciate if you could give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.